Hi everyone, my name is Rachel and I am a medical student and a creator of all sorts. I hope this doesn't turn into one of the longest videos ever, but if it does, forgive me. Just bear with me, okay? So for the longest time that I have known myself, or the longest time that I've been trying to know myself rather, I've always known myself to be somebody that's always caught up in some kind of dilemma. I'm always confused. You know, when you get to that age where you're just trying to think, what am I going to do with my life? I mean, of course, many people tend to say, oh, come on, you're going to be a doctor. That's like the best thing there is to become. You already have everything figured out. But trust me, even we don't have things figured out. Everything is still crazy, you know? It's so many things. It's where I come from. The economy is a bit messed up. So you can be a doctor and you can help people and save lives, which is obviously the first thing. But money, people worry about money, and I'm no exception to that. I worry about money too. Like, how am I going to be wealthy? Especially in this kind of setting. Okay, it seems like somebody's creeping up on me, and it makes me feel really uncomfortable to have somebody walking in whilst I'm in the middle of filming my video. But like we practiced, confidence, 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 and we don't care what people think. Okay, don't mind that. I was just trying to remind myself. So yeah, as I was saying, there's always this kind of dilemma. There's always this kind of confusion that comes with, just trying to figure out exactly who you're going to become. So one thing that I know, or one thing that I've known for sure ever since I was young, is that I was meant to be a creator, a storyteller, a speaker of some sort. But in every single video that I film, I think it's a bit apparent that there's a bit of anxiety there. I know I'm not going to shy away from that. It's true. Yeah, there's some anxiety issues, and it's held me back for the longest time. It's also the fact that, like I said, I'm coming from a setup where I don't really afford to get as much as I want. I want to have filming equipment, I want to have good lighting, all the resources, but that's really been holding me back. I was born to be a speaker. I was born to be a teacher, a preacher, an educator of some sort. It's something that I always felt, in my bones. And actually, I am also a writer. I have published a few poems, not books, but poems, in some literary magazines. I am going to share some links later on. And this has all been an attempt to keep a promise that I made to my younger self, that I was going to get stuff published. But to be honest, the whole poetry publishing thing doesn't really serve me in the way that I would want it to. It's more like it's just an attempt at sharing my voice. It's not the actual process of sharing my voice. It's different from speaking into the camera as I'm doing right now. This is my actual calling. I know it. But also, it's not having a background of people following me and stuff like that on social media. I mean, if you go on my Instagram, my YouTube, my everything, like every social network I've ever joined, I don't have many followers, and I really mean I don't have many followers. You and you who are watching this video are probably my only followers. So sometimes, you get discouraged when doing these things, like, why am I even filming these videos? Who am I even filming the videos for anyway? But I recently watched some other video filmed by some other person, and they were talking about how they showed up for their purpose. They showed up for what fills them up every single day. Of course, eventually they got the followers, they got the fame, and they got the what's it called? Whatever. Yeah. It doesn't mean it's gonna be the same for me, you know? But what I do want to try out now is I want to try film as much as I can. I want to film as many times as possible. It may not, knowing that it may never lead to anything, because the younger me would have wanted me to be doing this. The younger me wouldn't have settled, would have never allowed me to just settle for being a doctor. Sure, it's amazing, but there was always more. We were always dreaming crazy things. We were always dreaming about getting published, about New York Times, about having articles written, stuff like that. I mean, come on, everybody wants to be famous. Everybody wants to be recognized, not because it brings validation and you're insecure as they claim. No, really, it's just that human life is too short, but what makes it exciting is what we fill it up with. It's the things that we do, the things that we achieve. So that's why everybody chases after a high that comes from being very achieved in life. So I'm no different from those people, and I want to start being honest about it. You know what, this video may not even surpass 3 or 4 views, and I'm going to be okay with it. Okay, I used to film these kinds of videos all the time. I never knew what I wanted to say. Just like now, I don't even know what I want to talk about, but all I know is I'm supposed to be here talking, and I'm gonna show up for it. It doesn't even take more than like 10 minutes to just press play on the camera and start talking. So if it's what I need to do to make sure that the promise I made to a little someone has been fulfilled, if that's all I need to do, I'm doing it. So I'm just sitting over here, I'm just like talking, and I will be thrilled, if just 2 people watch this video, make it halfway. It's amazing. This is something that I'm going to look back at one day, and I know I'm just going to be happy about it for some reason. Anyway, yeah. So, another video that I recently came across. Please forgive me, I have ADHD. Sometimes it really gets so difficult to focus on whatever I really wanted to talk about. I don't even know what I was talking about in the beginning, but whatever. Yeah, I watched this video by this other dude, and he was talking about the importance of just existing. Everyone wants to be. I know this sounds a bit contradictory, because just a couple of seconds ago, I was talking about how important it is to be an overachiever. But I'm just saying, yes, it is good to achieve, to have a profession, to have a purpose, a destiny, whatnot. But also, sometimes when you just decide to become rather than do, when you choose to, actually, he said it like, it's being versus doing, and you should pick being over doing. The reason why is when you do something anticipating so many good outcomes, it keeps on bothering me that there are people walking around there, but never mind. When you are doing things hoping for a certain outcome, it's going to make you unhappy when you do not get that, when you don't reap the fruit of whatever it is you're doing. So you should just exist like a cat. That's specifically what he said. I'm pretty sure this guy was very high, but anyway, I played the entire video and it made so much sense when he was saying it. And he was holding up the cigarette, and he looked very chilled. I hope he's not deceiving all of us and telling us to not work too hard whilst he's just acting, and he probably has so much going on in the background, whatever. But I understood what he was talking about. He was talking about being and just allowing yourself to do things that make you happy, just relaxing, just waking up sometimes without being fixated on achieving a certain thing. It helps. And that's exactly why I decided to film this video, knowing that I don't even have a script written out, knowing that nobody's going to watch the video, knowing that I'm not going to make anything off of filming this video. I decided to just film. I decided to just be. Why? Because I have a camera, and I've always wanted to be filmed on camera. So is this not the best way to go? Is this not being? I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to be filming more of these videos, and I hope anybody watches them. And you know what? To make this more fun, because you have stayed to this part of the video, and I'm so grateful for that. I want you to tell me what I should talk about in the next video. I want to talk about anything. I just want to interact with people all over the world. And thank God we have social media. Now I can experience what's happening in your part of the world, and you can experience what's happening in my part of the world without us even having to be in the same space. I would surely love to be in the same space as you, by the way. Trust me. When I get wealthy enough, I'm gonna make sure it happens. Okay. It's the ADHD again, but I'm not going to be worshiping any of my shortfalls. You know, it's that the video is not about ADHD. The video is essentially about me yapping for what is now 11 minutes. Yeah, yapping for 11 minutes about absolutely nothing. And I'm just hoping that you respond, and I'm hoping that you get back to me. And yeah, like I said, from now on, I'm going to be posting regularly.